Most people think of rats as simple pests, small, dirty, annoying. But some rodents carry bacteria, parasites, and viruses capable of shutting down organs, causing internal bleeding, or sparking outbreaks that spread faster than anyone can contain. These tiny creatures have caused epidemics, destroyed ecosystems, and killed millions across history. And stay until number 1 because the deadliest rat alive today might be living right under your feet. Welcome back to Top Wonder, the channel where we uncover the strangest, deadliest, and most unbelievable creatures on our planet. Today, we're counting down the 10 most dangerous rats and rodents in the world. These animals don't roar or attack like big predators. Their danger comes from something far more terrifying: the diseases they carry, the ecosystems they destroy, and the viruses that can jump from them to humans in seconds. Let's begin. Number 10. Himalayan field rat. High in the cold Himalayan valleys, where mist hangs low and the earth freezes at night, lives a creature most trekkers never notice: the Himalayan field rat. Small, gray-brown, and quick to vanish between stones, it looks almost gentle. But this tiny rodent hosts fleas, mites, and parasites capable of spreading bacterial infections that strike without warning. Researchers in Nepal and northern India discovered that these rats commonly carry pathogens linked to severe fevers, stomach infections, and scrub typhus, a disease that can cause organ failure if untreated. In one documented incident, several climbers fell gravely ill after camping near burrows where these rats nested. None of them saw a rat. The infection spread simply through contaminated soil and dust particles stirred up around their tents. The Himalayan field rat doesn't invade homes or bite humans. Its danger lies in the invisible trail it leaves behind: contaminated firewood, hiking paths, resting spots, and campgrounds. You don't have to touch it. You just have to pass through its territory. A tiny mountain rodent, quietly capable of sparking outbreaks miles from civilization. Number 9. Marsh rice rat. In swampy marshlands stretching across the southeastern United States, the marsh rice rat moves silently through reeds and standing water. Slim, gray-furred, and built like a swimmer, it looks harmless as it scurries along muddy banks. But beneath that small frame lies a dangerous secret. This species is a major host for viruses and parasites that thrive in wet environments. Studies in Florida and Georgia show that these rats carry pathogens linked to severe gastrointestinal illnesses, leptospirosis, and multiple parasitic infections that can spread to humans through contaminated water. Campers and fishermen have fallen sick after wading through marshes later discovered to be heavily populated by marsh rice rats. In one case, a wildlife photographer developed a high fever and liver inflammation after unknowingly handling gear contaminated with rat droppings. What makes this species especially dangerous is its habitat. Marshes are places people explore barefoot, fish, or kayak, rarely expecting a rodent-borne pathogen to be lurking in the water. And because the marsh rice rat sheds pathogens into soil and pools, the threat continues long after the rat has moved on. A silent swimmer of the wetlands, carrying diseases hidden beneath the surface. Number 8. Asian house rat. The Asian house rat is one of the most common rodents across South and Southeast Asia. Sleek, long-tailed, and agile, it slips effortlessly along rooftops, behind walls, and through food markets crowded with people. At first glance, it resembles an ordinary house mouse, smaller than city rats, quicker, almost unthreatening. But this species carries a wide range of pathogens that thrive in densely populated environments. Researchers across India, Thailand, and Vietnam found that these rats regularly transmit bacteria responsible for food poisoning, dysentery, and enteric fevers. Outbreaks in tightly packed neighborhoods have been traced back to contaminated grains, fruit stalls, and water sources touched by rat droppings. In one case, a cluster of restaurant workers in Bangkok became ill after unknowingly preparing food stored in a pantry infested by Asian house rats. Unlike other rodents that stick to forests or marshes, This species lives where humans eat, sleep, and store their food. Its danger comes from proximity, from being close enough to pass on pathogens through invisible contamination. Small, fast, and deeply intertwined with everyday life. The perfect carrier for disease. Number 7. Bandicoot rat. Found in India, Sri Lanka, and much of Southeast Asia, the bandicoot rat is a rodent people never forget after seeing one. Much larger than typical rats, with coarse dark fur, a blunt face, and powerful digging claws, it looks almost like a miniature muskrat. But its imposing size isn't the real threat, it's the diseases it spreads. Bandicoot rats are notorious carriers of leptospirosis, a bacterial infection that attacks the liver and kidneys. Heavy floods across India have repeatedly triggered outbreaks of leptospirosis traced directly to bandicoot rat populations displaced by rising water. In Chennai, multiple hospitalizations were linked to people walking barefoot through streets contaminated by water mixed with rat urine. These rats also carry multiple strains of harmful bacteria and parasites that thrive in their burrows beneath markets, grain storage areas, and garbage dumps. Their aggressive behavior means they often bite when cornered, and such bites can lead to severe infections if untreated. A giant among rodents, and a powerful vector for disease where humans live closest to filth and floodwater. Number 6. Polynesian rat Rattus exulans. Small, slender, and deceptively cute, the Polynesian rat looks almost delicate with its pointed face and smooth brown coat. But its impact on human health and the environment is anything but gentle. This rat has traveled across the Pacific on ancient canoes, establishing itself on remote islands where ecosystems had no defense against it. The Polynesian rat is responsible for the decline and extinction of multiple bird species, not through direct attack but by spreading parasites, raiding nests, and disrupting fragile food webs. But beyond ecological destruction, it also carries pathogens capable of infecting humans, including bacterial infections that cause fevers, abdominal pain, and long-term organ issues. In several Pacific islands, outbreaks of foodborne illness were traced back to food stores contaminated by rat droppings left overnight in open wooden huts. Researchers have also documented cases where local children developed severe fevers after playing near old burrows riddled with parasites shed by these rats. Small, adaptable, and relentless, this rat has shaped entire islands, and not for the better. Number 5. Roof rat black roof variant. Lean, dark-furred, and built for climbing, the roof rat moves like a shadow across rafters, attics, and ceilings. Its long tail acts like a balancing rod, allowing it to run across power lines, rooftop edges, and narrow beams with unsettling ease. This agility is what makes it one of the most dangerous household rodents in the world. The roof rat is a well-documented carrier of plague bacteria, parasitic worms, and pathogens that contaminate stored food with shocking efficiency. In one recorded outbreak, residents of an apartment complex in Manila fell sick after grain bags were found riddled with droppings from black roof rats nesting in the ceiling. The bacteria spread through dust and food particles, infecting dozens within days. What makes them especially dangerous is their ability to colonize homes without being noticed. They rarely travel on the ground. Instead, they navigate the upper parts of houses, beams, vents, roof tiles, contaminating everything below. Silent acrobats of disease, bringing pathogens from the shadows straight into human homes. Number 4. Gambian pouched rat. Larger than many domestic cats, with cheek pouches that swell like balloons when filled with food, the Gambian pouched rat is one of the most unusual rodents on Earth. Its size alone, powerful limbs, thick fur, and a long bare tail makes it look more like a strange marsupial than a rat. But despite its almost comical appearance, this species is capable of triggering deadly outbreaks. In 2003, the United States experienced a rare outbreak of monkeypox. Dozens were hospitalized after exposure to infected pet prairie dogs, and investigators traced the source back to imported Gambian pouched rats housed in the same exotic animal facility. These rats had carried the virus across continents without showing symptoms, silently spreading it to other species and eventually to humans. Beyond monkeypox, they also harbor multiple parasites and bacteria linked to severe gastrointestinal and respiratory illnesses. Their growing popularity in the exotic pet trade has only increased the risk of new outbreaks. A giant rodent with a gentle face, but a deadly potential to spread viruses far beyond its native range. Number 3. Deer mouse Peromyscus maniculatus. Small, wide-eyed, and almost adorable, the deer mouse looks nothing like a threat. Its soft brown fur, white belly, and tiny rounded ears give it a gentle forest-dwelling appearance. But this species is the primary reservoir for one of the deadliest viruses known in North America, hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. Hantavirus does not spread through bites, it spreads through dust, tiny airborne particles from droppings and urine. People have contracted it simply by sweeping an old cabin, cleaning a shed, or opening a vacant garage where deer mice nested. Once inhaled, the virus triggers sudden fever, muscle pain, then rapidly progressing respiratory failure. The fatality rate can exceed 35%. In one tragic case, a family in New Mexico fell seriously ill after cleaning a vacation home left closed for months. Investigators found deer mouse droppings beneath the floorboards, in drawers, and behind stored boxes. Small, quiet, and deceptively innocent, yet carrying a virus that can kill within days. Number 2. Black rat Rattus rattus. Sleek, agile, and historically infamous, the black rat is one of the most consequential animals in human history. With glossy dark fur, large ears, and a thin, agile body, it thrives around human settlements, ships, and markets. And it is forever linked to one of the deadliest events the world has ever seen, the Black Death. In the 14th century, fleas carried by black rats transmitted the bubonic plague across Europe, Asia, and North Africa, killing an estimated 75 to 200 million people. Entire villages disappeared, cities collapsed, trade routes shut down. And at the center of it all were rats carrying infected fleas from home to home, ship to ship, continent to continent. Even today, black rats spread a range of dangerous bacteria and parasites, including typhus and foodborne pathogens. In several modern ports, health authorities regularly monitor rat populations to prevent outbreaks in densely populated areas. A rodent that changed the course of human history and remains dangerous even now. Number 1. Brown rat Norway rat. Thick-bodied, powerful, and found on nearly every continent, the brown rat is the most dangerous rodent alive today. With coarse brown fur, a blunt muzzle, and a muscular frame, it thrives in cities, sewers, farms, basements, anywhere humans live. And because it lives so close to people, it spreads more diseases to humans than almost any other mammal on Earth. The brown rat is a vector for leptospirosis, salmonella, hantavirus, Weil's disease, rat bite fever, and dozens of bacterial infections transmitted through bites, urine, or contaminated surfaces. In major cities like New York, London, and Mumbai, health departments report thousands of hospitalizations each year linked to rodent-borne illness, much of it traced back to this species. Brown rats thrive in garbage sites, subway tunnels, and buildings with poor sanitation. They sneak into food supplies, contaminate water sources, and multiply at alarming speed. In one documented case, a restaurant basement in Chicago had to be shut down for weeks when inspectors discovered an aggressive colony spreading pathogens through ventilation ducts. The most widespread rodent on Earth, and the one humans can never seem to escape. So, which rodent surprised you the most? The deer mouse carrying a virus with a 35% fatality rate? The Gambian pouched rat that triggered an American outbreak? Or the brown rat living closer to humans than any wild animal on the planet? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world's strangest and deadliest creatures.